you didn't know, I put out a video yesterday on James Gunn's new Superman film, and it was very negative. Gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars at the end of the day, but that's like the least of our worries here. The video has gone over poorly. The comments have been very vocal. The thing with this video is I kind of expected this, obviously, and I'll get to that in a second. That is kind of what informed the tone of this video. But I didn't expect like so many fans to feel such disappointment. Like what I'm trying to say is I expected a lot of, superhero folk to react very passionately about this, as I know that the film is performing very well and people are really enjoying it, and that's fantastic. So I knew people were going to be upset. But this is really, like I said, a kind of a massive loss because I've disappointed a large chunk of my own fan base. And the people that have been defending it, some people are on my side, but it's some people that are on my side, I'm like, I don't want you over here. We don't want that kind of audience, if you know what I mean. A thing that I've seen commented a few different times is this reads like a critical drinker review. Or someone was like, Ben Shapiro's review dropped. And that's, you don't want to be there, right? We don't want to be in that place. That's not the kind of stuff that I make over here. And I certainly don't want my reviews to read like that. So I wanted to clear things up because I feel it requires a bit of an explanation and more than anything an apology, because it is disappointing. 24 hours later, now that the fog has cleared and I've released the video, I'm not working on it anymore, I can kind of look back on it and be like, that was not a good review. My opinion is valid. Why would I bullshit that opinion? Like, why would I put myself through this? I cannot change how I feel about the movie, but I could have gone about the review in a much better way. And that's the worst part about this. So with that in mind, I want to properly apologize to my fan base, to any viewers who watched this who were massively disappointed, rightfully so. I'm not going to apologize for my opinion, obviously. That's something I can't even help. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I did not like this movie. I thought it was kind of poorly made, and it was really just not my thing. And that is something I should have said many times in the video, and I don't think I ever brought that up. It's really not my thing, and that's okay. If you're mad at me for that reason, then I don't know what to tell you, boss. That's just what we do here. We share our opinions. And sharing opinions, especially those that are a bit out of the norm, like I said at the top of the video, are healthy because I believe it starts a discourse. It starts a conversation. That's been proven through the release of this video. Reading the comments, I've come to appreciate a lot about this film. I didn't know a ton about Superman, admittedly. He's not a character I grew up with. I was never a huge comic book fan. So I didn't know a lot of like the context for why certain characters acted a certain way, for why this portrayal of Superman felt significant compared to what we've been used to. I didn't even acknowledge the fact that I'd never seen any of the Zack Snyder films, which I think deep down I knew was wrong, because I think knowing those films and the tone of them really informs why this current Superman feels so refreshing to people. I think looking back at it, I can't believe I didn't clear that up. Should I have watched these beforehand? Probably. I didn't really want to, though, because I heard they're kind of a dud. But I feel like that's some helpful context here. Regardless, that's poorly researched. I should have looked into this a bit more. I kind of start the video on a high note, like acknowledging the fact that Superman is such an important and significant character. And then like I dismiss all the context surrounding him as a character later on in the review, and don't acknowledge the fact that like the way this film is read, it plays a major part in like why it's being received so well. It's because people have a very, deep history with this character, a complicated one too. That's like some basic shit that I should have had in the video and that I should have talked a bit more about. But I think again, the fog was so thick, it could not make its way through. Which brings up the next wrong here, which was the review was incredibly mean-spirited. And here's the thing. There's a lot of comments here that are like, you need to apologize to James Gunn. And I'm like, James Gunn he's going to be fine. Like, Don't get me wrong, like James Gunn will be fine. But what use is this, right? Like what are we really getting out of a review like this? When I recorded it, I was like, this is fun. This feels like a return. This is fun. Fast forward. In my head, I was trying to channel, the style of some of my favorite film critics. Like every time Mark Kermode has a rant, it's fantastic, and he goes a little manic, and it's incredibly entertaining. And I thought it would be really funny and fun to go that hard for a film that everyone clearly likes. I was like, well, if I'm going to be on the wrong side of history about this, I may as well have some fun with it. Clearly, that just was like a childish way of going about this. I mean, it was fun recording it, but, seeing how people have responded to it and putting myself in their shoes. If someone went this way for one of my favorite movies, it's like, yeah, I would feel pretty bad, man. That's part of where this bitter tone came from. A lot of the bitterness also came from just my distaste for superhero films. They haven't really been my thing. I liked Thunderbolts. I liked the Spider-Verse films. You guys know how I feel about superhero films. And just something about this one really annoyed me. And that's fine. It just wasn't my thing. It's a film made very specifically for fans of superhero films. And I think I couldn't really see the appeal of any of that through my, own biases. As much as I would like to, stick it to the comic book film fan base, it's like, what is the purpose of that? You just come off like a douchebag. It's like that. These are movies people enjoy. Yes, this type of movie has done a lot of damage, in my opinion, to the future generation of film goers. It's changed the way people view movies. People expect post-credit scenes. They expect sequels and multiverses, and all that stuff is annoying to me, and I feel very passionate about it because it upsets me that, like, most young people expect like Marvel films when they go to the cinema. If it's not a superhero movie, there's no use going. These are valid arguments for a different conversation. It feels a bit irrelevant bringing up in this video or bringing these kinds of feelings to this video for Superman, which is ultimately like kind of an innocent take on the superhero film in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, man. It's a summer blockbuster. It's pure entertainment. And if people are having a good time with it, if people are feeling touched by it, that's an amazing thing. And what I'm bringing to the table is pretty non-constructive. This is also completely irrelevant. But this week my car also broke down. The screening I saw this at was very unfortunate. There were two drunk guys that got kicked out early on. There was someone next to me that was annoying me because he was chewing too loud. These are all irrelevant, and I'm not going to place the blame on any of this. But I think it provides a little bit of context for why I was in a bad mood. As far as the future of this video goes, because it's a sponsored video, I don't really know what I can do about it. If it wasn't a sponsored video, I don't know if I would take it down. I've taken down videos in the past, and that's just because it felt like after some time, it was like a part of me that wasn't really representative of who I am as a YouTuber or a critic. And it's really unfortunate to have these kinds of conversations with myself now, because I feel for the last few years, I've really figured out who I am as a YouTuber and film critic. Like, I've been really, frankly, kind of proud of a lot of my reviews from the last few years, and felt like, I've really gotten a grasp on like what I make and like what my voice is and where my taste aligns. So to find ourselves back in a place like this where I'm questioning if like this is even a video worth having up anymore, because when I look back at it, it doesn't even feel like me. That's unfortunate, and just goes to show you, like, don't get too comfortable. So that's where there's not really a conclusive place to go with that. I don't really know if I'm going to take it down or not. I mean, if anything, it serves as an interesting thing to have out there. Initially, I kind of just wanted to write this video off. When I posted it, within the first 15 minutes, it was getting, mean comments, and I was like, whatever, like, I expected this. If anything, I kind of wanted it. Like I said, it's like I was ready to like start a fight. and poke the hornet's nest a little bit. I grew up very influenced by YouTubers and critics who protect their opinions like behind several different fences, and the whole mentality of being a good critic is you never let that opinion get swayed by your readers or your viewers or anything like that. It's like you stand your ground, you felt that way, and you can't let anybody change that. And that's still the case. I haven't been like swayed in the opposite direction with this film. It's still very much not my thing. But I do think that has made me into someone who can't really like own up to when I've messed up. I tend to double down and, just try and pretend like what I said was the right thing all along and that I haven't changed my mind. And that's just simply very unhealthy. I think that's the root of a lot of issues with people with online discourse. People just doubling down and not really admitting that maybe they were out of line a bit. This was just a bad review. I wrote a bad review, and it happens, man. While we're here, I feel I will just elaborate on some of the points, some of the hot ones that people have highlighted. Just to, back myself up a bit. A lot of people are pointing out the Minecraft comparison. I want to make it very clear that I do not think this is a worse film than Minecraft. I don't think Minecraft is a good movie. I was speaking strictly about like tone and how Minecraft is like a very consistent and specific tone. It's a horrible, brain rotty tone meant to appeal to, middle school boys and whatnot. And it's not a good movie. It's incredibly, it's a step in the wrong direction for sure. As I said in that video, if video game adaptations like that are the future, I gotta find a new job. And I think Superman is not at all in the same camp as that. It's obviously like it's a fresher, more hopeful take on comic book cinema, and it seems to come from a real place of love and want to get this character right. My point was that it was very tonally confused compared to Minecraft movie, which was a very on the surface children's movie. I thought Superman read like sometimes a kid's movie, sometimes an adult movie. Edgy adult. I don't know why I said that. I don't think it's an edgy movie, but I do think it tries to appeal to adults and kids at the same time, and then gets like lost in the process. That's just how I read it. Like, I'm sorry, that's how I read it. That's why I said that. I am not trying to say Minecraft is a better film than Superman. Some people are pointing out the cleavage comment. I just thought that Gunn's depiction of this character in the film was kind of distasteful. I thought that it was like there was something like really gross and kind of boyish about how James Gunn went about like directing this character. And that's, I'm no expert. I think just in the bitterness, I kind of, that was just one of many things that was like kind of annoying me. I think if I saw something like this in a movie that I was enjoying or was lukewarm on, I probably wouldn't even think twice. But because I was just so weirdly bitter, I had to call that one out. There's been people that are criticizing me for not even acknowledging the Israel-Palestine themes in the film. Not that like they address it directly in the film, but it's like heavily implied. I didn't feel the need to bring it up, not because I don't like care about these topics. I'm obviously on the side of Palestine with stuff like this. I promoted No Other Land last year as much as I could because it was a documentary I felt very passionate about, and wanted as many people to see as possible. I didn't bring it up in the review because I just didn't feel like it was significant enough in the film. It didn't make enough of a mark. It felt kind of shoehorned in there at the time, and I was just like, well, it didn't really like leave an impact on me, at least to the extent that I needed to bring it up in the review, because I was like, it just kind of felt, I don't want to say irrelevant because it is relevant, but like I guess I wasn't going to expand on an aspect of the film that didn't even feel like it started expanding on itself within the film. That he kind of like put all the seeds out there so that you could like see it and read it as that, but like I didn't really feel like it did anything more than serve the plot at the end of the day. I didn't talk about David Cornsweet because I didn't think that much about his performance. Like people said the same thing about me not bringing up Damson Idris in F1. If I don't have anything to say, I don't say it. basically, is my way of going about things. It's not trying to throw shade. If I didn't like something, I'll say it. But I didn't think he was bad. I thought he was good and fine, like I said. We've been rambling for a while. I want to leave you with this. I think the fact that I had to make this video says less about the current state of film discourse and more about just my own shortcomings as a reviewer. I was kind of ready to pounce on that stance that, like, you know, we've gotten to such a toxic place where it's like a negative review of Superman goes over so poorly that you have to make a response video. But it's not about that, man. It's about just like I'm part of the problem. It wasn't rage bait, but it was like not constructive in a way that it was making any sort of progress. We weren't starting any sort of conversations because I was really just kind of spewing bitterness at the audience. Keeping a positive outlook on things, this is a review that I have already started to grow from. It's only been 24 hours, so it's like it's not even been 24 hours, but it's been a huge learning experience. Like I said, if you stick around, that'd be great. I'll see you in the Eddington review next week.